Welcome to the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. I'm here at Watmore Farm Fishery. This is in the sort, I suppose you want to say, northern Hampshire. It's tucked away here, so big single lake here, set up, well manicured, and with me is the owner Andy, and he's going to give us a little bit of an insight into the Pellet Waggler way of fishing. Now that's a float. Is obviously, you can look on this link up here, is we actually got a film up with Dave at Old Berry Hill Lake as to how to shot a waggler, and that's really good on a waggler. But I'm watching Dave wind in here, and it doesn't look anything like the waggler that I thought it should be.
Okay, yeah, this is the Pellet Waggler. It's a pretty standard Pellet Waggler. It's a 10 gram. You can get them in different weights. I've just put it on a Preston bead on here, which is on the line here, and I've got two rubber beads either side. Unfortunately, I've had to put two leads on because the beads are sliding up and down the line. But on a day like today, where it's nice and calm, all it'll do is just take the Pellet Waggler a little bit deeper in the water, which on a day like today, like I say, doesn't really matter. This is a pretty standard Pellet Waggler rod. It's 11 foot in length. It's got a nice bit of flex. It flexes all the way through the whole rod. I've got a little Shimano reel on here. It's got a really lovely clutch on it, and that's 6 pound main line. It's 6 pound hook link from the float. I've got a size 12 hook here, and a tiny little, very close to the hook hair rig with a little pellet band on. There's two ways you can do this for me. What I do is I either tie a little rubber band on a hair, or you can actually put the hook through the band, like so, and then put your pellet into the band. And to put the pellet into the band, use one of these little tools. Put it into the band, slide it on, open the band up, slide your pellet in, release it, slide it off. Okay, yeah, there you go then. That's a 8mm pellet in the band, and it's now ready for casting. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take 3 or 4 pellets, fire them out with the catapult, and then cast into where they've just landed. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I've cast it out, floats in the water. I'm going to fire 3 to 4 8mm pellets over the top of the float and keep feeding that constantly every 30 seconds. The actual idea is to create competitive feeding, and little and often, and quite often you'll see swirls around the float and around the feed area where you've been catapulting as they're coming up to the surface. I'm no expert at pellet waggling, but I've been bitten by the bug. I normally fish on the bottom with heavy duty gear and rods, but I've really got into pellet waggling now. It's just a whole new way of fishing. All the equipment's lighter, it's very fast, you're on the go all the time, you're feeding the water all the time. There's a lot to do around pellet waggling, and I'm totally hooked.
Come off, yeah? I just missed that. I just saw the rod go round.
Now I've got a 10 gram pellet waggler on here. You can get heavier, you can get lighter. What I tend to do is I tend to cast quite a way out. I'll feed that area up, and if I don't get a lot of response from that, then I'll feed up a little bit shorter, and then reel back into that feed area. So you've got per cast, and you've got few chances of actually catching. You can also, I mean, I've got a chair here that's got the facility to put an arm on the side. You can, if you miss the bite on the float, you'll see the tip go around, which is just another way of doing it. They run up to £27. This is sort of an average size fish, about £5 or £6.
Well, I've all set up, but I've got a bit of a problem, guys. I've got 3 of those floats. I've dug around in my tackle box and I've actually got 3 of the thick waggler floats. But because I've been pike fishing, all my swan shot to cock those floats, they take a minimum of about 4 SSGs. I haven't got, so I can't use those floats. I have to use what they call an onion float, which is like a small waggler. But with the wind coming up, it's just a nightmare trying to get it out. So I'm going to have to work on this assumption that the same principle will work close in. So I'm not getting out as far as the other guys with those big heavy floats, but I am at least trickling that bait down through the water columns. But I have learnt something definitely, and that is accuracy, and wind is a big problem when you're spraying those loose feed samples of the pellets, because obviously if the wind takes them, you're going to take the fish away as well. So you really do need quite calm conditions for this pellet waggler fishing to do it accurately, or at least have this heavy float and you can sort of go downwind with it, if you like. That's the easy way I can describe it. As a bonus, and I can see that I would always do this, because I'm only using 1 float rod, I've now put my second rod up. I can't put 2 pellet waggler floats out because you can't fish with 2 float rods like that. I just got one down here, like with a bolt rig and a little pop up on it, and I've got some ground bait around the lead just to attract some fish in. Look, it's cost me nothing. The rod's just sitting there, it's doing nothing. I might as well have it just down the side here in the margins, and hopefully, with this gale of wind we've got, hopefully nothing gets blown away. Fingers crossed I get to see a fish as well. Flat calm this morning, windy within half an hour. Well, there we go, people. This one was a while coming. He's just going to hold still, I don't know, on the pellet waggler, but I had to go deeper because the wind has come really, really strong now. And I'm having trouble holding out, getting a bit of drag there, so I've gone deeper, figuring the fish are following it down. So he's been through the wars in the match, this one. I think it probably would have been in the odd match keep net. I don't know. Nice carp, an amazing fight on the match rod. Let's get it back. Well guys, got another fish on this pellet waggler. Really, really scrapping well on the match rod. But it's tough in the wind. I've got to say, the further I go out, the more trouble I have trying to keep tight to it and concentrating that bait. The bait's blown all over the place. So in a minute I'll show you how I'm trying to give myself just give myself a little bit of weight onto the bait. The last fish came on that, and I forgot to tell you about it, but I'll tell you this time. If I get this fish in, I'll show you. He's digging like crazy. I haven't even seen this one yet. Here we go, it's a common this time, small common. Good scrapper though. Oh, hook fell out. Thank God for barbers. Only a small carp on a pretty tough day, but what a good looking fish that is. Hold still, buddy, I'll get you straight back. Well, let's show the folks on YouTube that bit of extra weight to the bait I put on there. I just turned around and I thought, what's that rustling sound I can hear? It was my other rod being dragged along. I just wound it into the margins here. It's got a pop-up on it, just as a bonus, and a fish must have taken it right in by the margins, and my rod was about to go in through the rushes. So it just goes to show you that the bonus rod can actually pick up the odd fish. But guys, this one looks a bit better fish, but of course it's on my trusty Avon rod, so it is virtually toast. Another common. Different animal, and this one's on a pop-up. Pick him up slowly, that normally keeps him quiet. What about that one? Not a million miles away from, hold still, 9–10 pounds maybe. Nice fish, and a bonus fish, more important, a bonus one. Going to get him straight back, just straight on a pop-up. So two fish, one after the other. Well, I was going to show you that little addition to the bait on the pellet. Got rudely interrupted by those fish. It's gone quiet now, the wind's come up even more, so I might as well show you what I did do. Whether it's made any difference, I don't know. I'll just get hold of the pellet for you. So here's the standard pellet, but because I'm feeding with a ground bait mixture of obviously the loose, these are Scretins 4mm pellets I think. Putting those in loose, I've also mixed them up, wet some ground bait to trickle in as well. And I'm using that Bailey's horse feed with it. It goes quite gluey, so you have to make it to the consistency you want, but I'll put pellets in with it. And I've been watching the float just dip, just dink around, and I think they're roach. I'm thinking, well, maybe the roach are going for the particles of ground bait down there. If I put some ground bait around that pellet, voila, I've made a little ball there like that, and I just mould. That's how I got those last two fish. Right, so this is tumbling through the water, the little fish are nibbling at it, they break it all up in a big cloud, that attracts the carp, and then the carp take the pellet. Well, it's worked the last couple of times. I think I'll stick with this way and just keep a little trickle of bait going in there. Another little tip I found, if I shoot these pellets out in this wind low and hard, rather than trying to target them through the air, it does seem to drive through the wind a bit better, and I don't go outside the baited swim too much. Well, bit. You'll note by the bend of the rod, guys, that I am on number 7. I've missed about 3 or 4 others. So I know that they're taking that tumbling down action that we talked about earlier. Maybe something heavier than a match rod might be a good idea here at Watmore, because they fight like crazy. Probably a common. I've had the last two ping off, so hopefully we get to show you this one. Just will not give up. This one is as fat as a barrel. What a beaut. I feel if I don't get him back now, I'm going to get a slap in the face. Thanks for watching the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. Hope you got some tips there on the Pellet Waggler. It's certainly working here at Watmore. A chunky fish.